Okay, binding nerds, here we go. I'm back again, and I have talked about this binding series or range before. They're the ShadowFit Salomon bindings. ShadowFit is what they call this. That's the heel cup. Why is it flexed, you might say? Well, it's incredible. I don't know what to tell you. I was the biggest binding nerd forever. I Frankensteined all my bindings. I used to put bindings together from bits and pieces of other bindings to get the perfect fit. I was always battling to get as little binding pressure and an annoying feel from my binding as possible with the most translation of energy to the edge of the board. Then these guys came along. My business partner Claire started riding them, and I was riding with her, and I noticed that all of a sudden her riding had stepped up. I was like, this is weird. Said to her, you're riding better. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're riding better. And she's like, yeah, everything feels a bit better. I was like, what's going on? So we put it down to the binding. Then I got my hands on a set of these from Salomon, and it has completely changed my riding. I now have one set of bindings. No matter what board I'm riding, I will only ride my Salomon Highlander ShadowFit binding. It is, for lack of a better description, the first binding I've ever had where you don't feel the binding. You get all the response you want when you want it and none when you don't. So the binding is far more forgiving when you make mistakes. It has, through this section here, which is all Kevlar and plastics, it has the ability to only translate the energy you need, not the energy you don't need. So you get an incredible board feel from here to here. Like, it's still got tons and tons of response when you lean back. But if you make a mistake and fall forward or back into your landings or takeoffs, it won't translate that energy to the edge. So it doesn't feel like you've made a mistake. It makes almost all boards feel more forgiving, which makes you a better rider. Simple as that. That's the District. This is the base model, which is there for, I guess it would be more for park riders and guys who just play around, jib, butter, tricks, basically. It's very soft. It's got a ton more flex through the back than some of the other models. Super fun binding. If you're riding a huck knife or sleepwalker or sort of boards that are designed for the park, this is the binding, the District. It's definitely the go. If you're that same guy, but you hit those 60-foot booters and you feel like you need a little bit more response from your binding, this is called the District Pro. Essentially, it's the same binding, but if you look at the straps, they've put the Highlander straps, which is the top end one, on the District. So you've got the District frame and the District flex with much better straps. So if you're that guy who wants to hit those big, big booters and have confidence that everything's going to stay together when you land, District Pro. Next one up is the Hologram. Free ride guy doesn't want to spend $1 million on a binding. This basically stiffens up through the high back's a little bit stiffer and through here is a little bit stiffer. It doesn't have quite the same gumminess to it. It's a little bit stiffer through the Kevlar stringers and plastic flex. It's a nice binding. It's a good intermediate, I guess, between the District and the Highlander. Now this one, let's talk about this binding. We are going to sell out of these again this year. We do every year. It is a high-end binding that should be like $750 and isn't. I think this year it's $550 maybe. It is the best binding I've ever ridden in my life. And I mean, I know a lot of people will go, I've ridden heaps of things. We talk to so many people in here that will come in and go, I've ridden so many boards, and that number's like 10. And I get it. If you're generally riding, if you're a consumer, you just don't get to ride a lot of boards, even if you do the demo days. I've been riding snowboards since the late 80s, and over a 30, whatever that is, 5-year period, I've easily ridden 400 or 500 snowboards. I've probably ridden 50 bindings, 50 or 60 different bindings in that time. This is the first one I've stuck with for a long time. I'm currently riding the K2 Almanac. This binding works beautifully on it. Last year I was riding the Libtech Orca. This binding worked beautifully on it. I took the GNU Gremlin with me to Japan. Binding worked perfectly on it. It doesn't matter what board you're riding, this binding works. Just so full disclosure, I'm not a park guy. I'm 53 years old. I'm not hitting kickers and slamming myself into rails. If I was, I would definitely go down to the slightly less responsive binding in the District. For free riding, for powder, for carving, for riding switch, for every other aspect of snowboarding, the Highlander is the best binding I've ever ridden. I will stake my reputation on the fact that you will like this binding if you buy it. Doesn't matter what board you're riding, you're going to love this binding. So get some. ShadowFit. This one's the stiffest of the three. You can see it doesn't flex quite as much. It's probably hard to tell from here, but trust me, it's the one. It's an amazing binding. Get it.